Hello, everybody, and good day to you. It's Rusty Champagne. We are back once again here for episode number 6 of Factory Town Idol. Now, full disclosure, I did actually have a video of this recorded yesterday, or so I thought. I had completed my recording and then went back to my OBS screen and realized that I never turned the record on. So, so nothing actually recorded, and on top of that, I had already progressed the game forward, so I had to try and get the game back to the same state that it was in when we played last time, which thankfully didn't take too long because we're not that far into it. But that was a rather humbling lesson in making sure that you have the record icon set on your screen. So we're back at a very similar version of Champagne 2 to what we had before. It's a little bit different, but for the most part, everything's the same. Got the buildings in the same configurations, so everything should be pretty much the same. The only thing that might be different is just progress on some quests here. Like in our last one, we didn't have the 10K shirts completed, I'm pretty sure. So there's just a little bit of change there. Also, there was a patch to this game. And one of the big things that the patch did in this game, so they're running on 1.1.1 now, is that several of the recipes for selling items have had their experience points boosted. So it used to be that most of these things would give you a baseline of 1 point of experience per item that you sold, but now a lot of these have moved up. So this would have been one, and this would have been two. This would have been one, and then now it's a base of two because everything's being multiplied by 60%. Because of where we are in our world perks. So market sell speed is increasing everything. Actually, yeah, it's increasing it by 100%. So, but these normally would have all been the same number. They would have all been like 1.6. And now we have some that are at 4.8. So we got things that are giving us a lot more. Oh, that's no, I was looking at sell speed. There's what is it? Town XP boost. So, or yeah, our XP boost is 60%. So we have things that would have been, these would have all been at a base of one and would have been bumped up to 1.6, but now we've got things that they have a base of 3 and they're at 4.8. Down here, the wood wheels have a base of 4 and now they're at 6.4. The long and short of it is that now we're generating 4,500 experience per second, whereas before we weren't generating nearly that much. We were only generating like 2,500 a second. So now we're at 4,500 a second. We haven't really done anything to change the overall structure of the town. So that's one of the big things that came out of the patch is that it's now a lot easier to get experience than it was before. So that's definitely a positive change because getting experience at a faster rate is always nice, just because it does help you get a little bit more progress in things. So that's definitely a welcome change. All that said, we are now going to get back into it here. They did also, I don't know if maybe that timer was always there for the daily reward chest. I think it always was. It's just that I actually claimed those daily rewards late last night when I was busy putting Champagne 2 back together from scratch. So here we go. We're going to get into this. We're going to complete this quest for completing the 10,000 shirts, which now gives us pants. As we discovered yesterday when we put everything in with all of the automatic balancing and how big of a game changer that is. Now, if we go down here and if we look at our clothing store, if we go down here and look at pants, we can already see the pants are being they're already being crafted. So there's nothing that we need to do to worry about crafting the pants. And so all we got to do is just go here to the clothing store and start getting them sold. And that's it. And these pants are going to generate 13 experience per pair of pants for selling them and for crafting them. So that's a massive bump in experience just by putting the pants into play. We're now at 5,200 experience per second. And all the only thing we did is we started to craft pants, which is just, it's amazing how much that changes things. And again, that's just a patch change. We're going to go here. We're going to look at cotton cloth because it looks like we are out or we are running out. So that would be a sign that we do not have enough tailors. If we look here, we can increase our tailor production capacity. It would cost 260,000 coins. We have 417,000. We might as well. So let's do that because that way that'll just create more Taylor capacity, which is already completely assigned to try and get all these things up to 100%. But it is trying to put a lot into the pants, and that's really not what we want. So we really needed to kind of focus on making the cotton cloth. So I don't know why it did that. So yeah, it should change these things around. So yeah, it is going to rebalance and try and get it so that it, instead of making all the pants that it can, it's going to make all the cotton cloth that it can in order to continue doing things like making pants. So that's been rebalanced a little bit. Now, if I take that back off, will it then change things back around? No, it doesn't look like it will. So it'll keep that where it is. So we're making cotton cloth at a good rate. We're now losing out on shirts a little bit just because of the way everything's balanced. Of course, I could build a few more tailors. No reason not to. So we'll build a few more tailors here, and that will just help to give us capacity in both areas. So it looks like it's trying to put more capacity in cotton cloth to help that out. And at some point, that might eat into what we have for cotton, but maybe not. No, it looks like we're fine there. Okay, so we got 25 tailors going. The quest that we have going on, we've almost got our 25,000 wool. I don't remember how close we were there. We have everything else here, I think, is in a pretty similar to shape to where we were before. So we're going to go over here and we're going to look at research. So in terms of research that we can do, let's see, we got a few things here that can give us extra capacity on things. So this barrel will give us additional storage for all of our drinks, including apple juice and milk. It doesn't cost much of anything to research it. That's pretty cheap. So we'll put a couple points into there. The pantry, that's going to give us storage on a couple other things that we're making. Actually, maybe at this point in time, it's only one. So it's going to give us capacity on bread. Oh, and beef and cooked beef and eggs. So we'll put some points into there and get that going. And then I think we're going to make some more schools because now that we're at the point where we are getting to research that's taking longer and longer, and some things that require more and more researchers in order to speed up the process, I'm going to build 4 more schools. So now we got 10 schools. So now we have 10 researchers available. And now we'll go here to here's another one, the crop silo, which will give us more storage for several things that we produce, including grain and animal feed and cotton. And I thought apples, yeah, so several things there. It's interesting because when you hover over this, it shows you the things that you currently have available to you, and it doesn't give you a description for the things that you don't. So this item here, which I know to be sugar cane, we don't currently have it, so that's why it's not saying what it is. But apples, we do. And then this thing, we don't. This thing, we don't. This one. So there's several here that we haven't discovered, so it's not telling us what they are. But, I mean, that looks like it's carrots. But since we haven't actually discovered it, it doesn't tell us exactly what it is. The barrels are done. We're going to go down here. We have, oh yeah, we're not doing the crop silo yet. I started talking about that. So we'll get the crop silo going, and I don't think we'll have any issues there. It does look like we are overall eating into our general knowledge tomes. So, oh yeah, and this is another thing I want to do. With these general knowledge tomes, we have the study, which has balanced everything so that it's using 4 capacity in the paper version of general knowledge tomes and only 1 capacity in the book version of general knowledge tomes, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we can use 1 book and make 10 tomes, or we can use 1 paper and make 1. So it makes more sense to go ahead and use as many books as you can because it's going to make tomes a lot faster. Now, this doesn't rebalance for whatever reason, so I guess we'll just change this ourselves. And when we knock that one down, it bumps the other one up, which is kind of what we want because as long as we're not eating into our books, it makes a lot more sense for us to use the books to make the tomes because it makes tomes a lot faster. And in this case, now it gives us a lot more experience when we do it because it's giving us 32 experience points for every, I think that's every tome that we create. So it might be doing 10.72 per second at this point. So that's in the neighborhood of, yeah, that'd be a lot of experience. So yeah, I've got that changed around. It's still not helping. So we're going to go here. We're going to put a few more studies into play. And then that should, once again, it should automatically assign it to the books, and it is. So that's good. So now we're getting back to positive on our, excuse me, on our general knowledge tomes, and that looks like it's going to be fine. So go back here to research, and we've got a couple things going. We can also put into play the ore silo. So right now I'm just focusing on all the things that are giving us storage, and we'll get all these going. So we'll put this into play. That might cause an issue just because we might be eating into our tomes pretty quickly here. I don't know how many of them we have on hand. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do that because we don't have that many tomes on hand. So we'll turn that off, and we'll let these other things finish up just because we don't have enough capacity on tomes. We can change that by building some more libraries. I don't know if we have any libraries built. No, we don't. So let's build some libraries, and that will give us capacity on tomes. So you can see all of these things, the paper and the books and the tomes, the capacity icons are all moving way down because we are not using, or because we have that much more capacity for each of these things at this point in time. We are burning through our paper. So what's causing our paper to go away? So it looks like we need some more lumber mills. If we look here, yeah, we just need more lumber mills in order to get ourselves more paper. So we'll get a few more lumber mills going, and that should get us back to having paper again. So it should work on getting back to that. Well, right now it's working on getting the planks completely back to 100%. And then once it's got the planks back to 100%, then it'll go back to producing paper again. So that'll change itself back and get itself rebalanced. So, yep, there we go. So it's now taking all that production capacity and putting it back into paper. So our paper will start getting back to 100% at this point, and it's slowly climbing, and we'll get completely back to full here. So now that we have a whole bunch more general knowledge tomes that we're crafting and can store, we might be able to go back to this research, and we might be able to get this started again. And it may not eat into our total that quickly. So we're losing 7 per second here. That might be an issue, maybe not. I'll leave that at one researcher for now. So we are going to let a couple of those run for a bit here. I'm going to go down here to all of our storage that we built, and we're going to put some capacity into all of our different storage. So libraries, an upgrade here for library storage capacity, so that'll give us even more storage for each of our things that goes in the library. That costs 51,000. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. So now that's going to give us even more space for paper and books and tomes. The warehouse, that would be another 51,000 for everything that goes into the warehouse, and the items that go into the warehouse are, okay, so this is going to be ingots and our wood wheels, and our, do we have anything else here? Shirts, pants, shovels. So that would give us more capacity per warehouse that we have built. That would be another 51,000. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to spend all the red coins. That is the goal for today. Well, maybe not all of them, but we'll spend a few. We've completed a quest to get 25,000 wool created. That now gives us wool cloth. So now if we go down here, oh yeah, and I hadn't mentioned, our town fulfillment is still near 100%. And you can see now we're making 8,800 experience per second. We're generating that much experience per second. So this really starts getting to be kind of crazy, the amount that you generate. Research-wise, crop silo is done. So we now have that. We're going to go down here to wool cloth, which again, it's already starting to generate that, it looks like. Actually, it's not. And the reason it's not is because it's trying to do everything it can to generate the other things. So right now we're short on cotton cloth, and right now it's focusing primarily on getting the pants full So once it's done with the pants, then it will shift the capacity back to some of it to wool cloth and most of it to cotton cloth. And then once the cotton cloth is full, well, now we've completely eaten into our cotton. And so will it shift that around? So if we look at our harvester huts, it looks like there's not much it can do here to get that shifted. So it might be trying. Okay, so it has shifted it back now so that it's going to get cotton back to full. It's interesting seeing that work and just the way it keeps on balancing everything around. That's really really neat the way that they have that designed. So now it's got all the capacity going in wool cloth as much as it can because everything else is already operating at the capacity it needs to. So now we can go back here and we can start selling the wool cloth. So we'll do that, but for that we are going to need some more clothing stores. Let's see what upgrade we have here. 100K for market capacity. I said I was going to spend all the red coins, so let's do it. So now we've got 10 more capacity in clothing stores and didn't have to build any. We'll need 4 there to get our demand for wool cloth met, and that's working on that. And now we're going to go back here to so we are starting to eat into our wool, and that's at the pastures. So if we look at the pastures, the only thing that is currently running is wool. So we probably need a few more pastures. And okay, so now wool's back to full. Okay, so now we have a bunch of extra capacity in pastures. So had I just waited a little bit, everything would have been fine because now I've got all this excess capacity that's not getting used at all. So that was me just being a little impatient. Okay, level 14. Here we go. So we're going to click this, and we're going to get all of our bonuses from there. So we got a bunch more purple diamonds, a bunch more land, a whole lot more coins, both yellow and red. And we're going to go down here, and now we can harvest gold ore and make gold ingots. And then our next quest is for level 15. And if we look at level 15, the bonus that we get for getting to level 15 is that we discover the world. That's pretty cool. So our goal for this stream is to get us up to level 15. And then we'll see exactly what happens once we get to having the world available. So how long is that going to take? If we do nothing, it would take us 52 minutes. But we should be able to speed some things along to make that number a little bit faster. So we're going to go here to the ore silo, and we're going to get that built. And right now we're generating 7,200 experience per second. We should be able to bump that number up. If we look here now, going back to our fulfillment, now we need fulfillment on gold ingots. It's actually starting to make some of those. So we do need a few more hardware stores, and these gold ingots produce blue coins similar to the silver ingots. So we're going to create a few more hardware stores. That should also get us some kind of an upgrade, and it does. Oh, 100,000 red coin or 100,000 yellow coins for market capacity. Sure, we'll take that. And so now we can go here to gold ingots. We need 5 there. That's going to give us another 16 per one that we sell. So that's like 80 experience per second just for selling those. Once again, we're at 100%. The only thing that looks like we're slowly running out on now is we are running out on both kinds of ingots. So if we look here, let's go to the ingots themselves. If we look at the forges, so the forges use production capacity as well. This is 51,000 blue coins for production capacity on forges. We'll definitely take that. And that will double our production capacity, which has already been put into play. And now if we look, we're running short on fire, which means that we probably need more hearths, or we could build some furnaces. Furnaces just take coal to generate. It uses 1 coal to generate 1 fire, as opposed to the hearths, which take 2 wood to do it. So I don't think we've been using coal for anything. So let's do a few of these, and we'll get this going. So now we're generating fire using our our furnaces, but it's not enough to, we're still burning through our fire resource, and we need to try and get to how quickly are we burning through it? Yeah, we're still 15 per second behind. So if we do this and get a furnace speed boost, which will boost the production speed of furnaces, excuse me, and then we get furnace storage, which just increases the amount of I think that increases the amount of fire that we can store using our furnaces. So we'll do that. So now fire is still behind. Oh, is it now? Is it starting to turn around? It keeps trying to balance and is not doing it. So let's build a few more furnaces, and maybe that will be enough to get it to turn around. And right now, the thing about the furnaces is they're not generating uh, a lot of extra resource per second just because they're still at a low level. They're at level 8. So we can get another speed boost, and that would be another 81,000. Okay. The storage capacity, I'm not going to worry about that right now because I don't think that that's an issue for us. But we look here, and our energy is now once again back into the positive, so that will start to slowly refill itself. We're at 7,400 per second. And let's see, what else can we do? So we are fulfillment 100% across the board. If we look at terms of things that are kind of yellow, grain is a little bit yellow, and it's because all of our harvester huts are actually completely in play. So we're going to go here. Our ore silos are built. What else can we research? Well, the one that will take the longest time, and this is where we can fast forward things, is going to be jewelry. So let's do jewelry, and then we can possibly speed time up 22 minutes. But I also want to start getting some of these fixed because we're burning through a bunch of things here. So yeah, we need our harvester hut. We either need more harvester huts or we need them to um, do more. So harvester hut production capacity, that'll give us more production capacity in our huts. So we should then go from 100 capacity to 150, and immediately all 50 of those get used up. And so now if we look here, what do we have going on now? So silver ore. So here we are. Here's one of our situations where last stream we were trying to figure out how to get more silver ore, and I finally figured out how you do it. So the one thing I had forgotten about was the fact that if you go to any building, it gives you this little information icon. And if you click on that, then it locks this window in place. So this tells you basically what this building does, what it creates, what it uses, what the requirements are for it, what it opens up down the road. And in this case, the harvester hut gives us all of these things. So it gives us silver ore. So if we want to learn more about silver ore, we can click on it. So in this case, silver ore is produced by the harvester hut. The input for it is silver ore deposits. It outputs silver ore, and the requirements are silver ore deposits. So now if we want to see where silver ore deposits come from, we can go here. So in order to get more silver ore deposits, we need the gem mine. So we haven't researched a gem mine yet. So what does it take to research a gem mine? So if we go here, we have to click on this. And in order to get a gem mine, we need pickaxes, which we don't have yet. And we need Industrial Knowledge Tome 2, which we also don't have yet. So how do we go about getting these? So if we go here, we can look. And in order to get Industrial Knowledge Tome 2, we need a laboratory. And last time I checked, we don't have one of those. So how do we go about getting a laboratory? And the requirement for that is researching a laboratory, which we haven't done. So how do we go about that? And if we look, that's what we need. So in order to get all of that, we need to get to basic logistics. So that was the thing I was trying to figure out how to do and had forgotten. And now I remember. And so now we can go ahead and start researching that. So we're going to research basic logistics, and that should open up a bunch of things. And I might have actually started researching that the last time we did this, but I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure I didn't. So we're going to go in here. We're going to put some points in basic logistics, and that's going to open up a bunch of doors. But we are going to look at the other things that are not silver ore because now we've determined there's nothing we can do about that right now because there's so much research that has to be done. The same is going to be true for gold ore deposits. If we go here and if we look at gold ore, it's going to be the same thing that comes from gold ore deposits, which you need the gem mine for. So everything hinges on us getting the gem mine. And until we get that, there's not much that we can do to speed either of those up. And those are just going to run as best as they can. Everything else seems like it's in good shape, and yeah, everything that's falling behind is either gold or silver. And again, there's not much that we can do in either of those cases right now. We are going to go up here to our town perks, and I am going to bump up all of these perks. So I'm going to bump up our harvesting speed, our crafting speed, our cultivation speed, our prospecting speed. I'm going to bump up our sell value because we love money. We're going to bump up our research speed. We now have this one for knowledge speed, which is basically everything that involves tomes. So any recipe that uses knowledge speed, we can make a little bit quicker. We still have 115 points available. So let's go ahead one more time and let's bump all these up one more time. All of our speeds. Let's bump up our research speed. Might as well bump up our construction speed, bump up our construction cost, bump up our sell value because again, we love money. So we've got that. We love money even more. So now we got that. And what else can we do? We've got 14 left. And we'll do, what else can we do? We'll do harvesting speed, and that'll be it. For world perks, what can we do over here? We have 16 coins. We can increase market sell speed again, and we might as well because that'll also help our experience. So let's do that. So that's going to make our market sell speed even faster, which is going to once again make our experience skyrocket a bit as everything recalibrates and we sell more and more. Um, Harvester huts, we now have 103 of the 150 available because of everything that we did with the changes in terms of harvesting speed. It's now the speed per second in harvester huts is so much quicker, and we've got so much available capacity now because they're operating a lot more quickly than they did before. So research, let's see, we're going to actually bump this ahead 11 minutes. So we're going to bump these ahead. We're going to bump time ahead a little bit and get that research done. So there's the first one. And I should hear a noise here for the second one momentarily. And there it is. So 2 researchers are done. So basic logistics is done. And that opened up a few things, including the laboratory, which is the thing that we needed. And jewelry is open, which has now given us the ability to produce a bunch of other things. So we can build a jeweler. We got recipe for a polished stone. We can research gem jewelry. So a bunch of things have become available there. And now we're going to immediately start researching the laboratory, and we are for sure going to push time ahead in order to get that finished because that would take 48 minutes normally. And we're going to just have that one push all the way through. We have now finished our quest to produce 25,000 beef, which gives us leather. And now we have quests to produce a whole bunch of cotton cloth and wool cloth. And now that we've done all that, we now have a couple of new items on the market to increase our fulfillment. So gold ingots, again, can't do anything about that because we're just at maxed capacity on our on our on our gold deposits. So it's doing the best that it can. Leather is something that's now being produced automatically, and we can go in here and we need 4. Actually, well, yeah, we only need 3 for that, really, because we bumped up the sell speed. So that we're now selling that. We're now at 8,700 experience per second. So now we're down to 23 minutes before we get to level 15. Let's see what else is going on here. So we're producing the leather to finish this quest. Everything else is just kind of going at speed. We're eating into our grain a little bit, and our farms are completely used up. So we do need to build a few more farms, or we have an upgrade here for farm production capacity, which is only 36,000 red coins, and now we have 708,000 of them. So we'll do that. We'll also do grain cultivation speed, which will increase our speed in which we cultivate grain. and now we're at 127 per second, and we're still, wow, we're still behind on grain. What is being made that's eating into our grain so quickly? That's kind of interesting. So is it just, oh, it's because we're using, wow, everything that we're doing is causing us 474 seconds, 474 grain per second. Wow, that's amazing. What all is using grain? It's just all the animal feed. Wow, our animal feed is right now using grain at a clip of 418 grain a second for all the things that use animal feed. That's pretty amazing. So okay, so looking at this basically means that we just need some more farms. So we'll build some more farms and get that up to 20, and then that should turn everything with the grain around. It already has, so we're fine there, and everything will be good. Let's see, we got a quest to build a jeweler, so let's go ahead and build a jeweler because that'll probably give us more things that we can sell on the market. So we're going to go down here to the jeweler. We're going to turn on the automatic assignment. This uses polished stones, so we'll go ahead and build 10 jewelers. Get that started. Got a quest for that, and now we have a quest to build a jewelry store, which allows us to go ahead and sell the things that we make at the jeweler. So we're going to get the jewelry stores built down here. We'll build 10 of these because we do everything in tens now, because that's where we have the potential. Oh, we actually are not going to do that because we ran ourselves out of something. Ran ourselves out of one of the materials for it. So we'll stop at 5. Market capacity is 26,000 blue coins. We have 276,000 of those. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're already starting to create polished stones, and it only takes 1.44 of those. Excuse me again. So that's we can massively overfill that, and we'll be fine. So we're at 174% of demand completed or fulfilled there. All of these things that give us storage, we might as well go ahead and build some of these. So crop silos, we'll go ahead and build those. Ore silos, we'll go ahead and build some of these. And then pantries, we'll go ahead and we'll build some of these. Because all of these basically use up as land, and that's it. And then some resources. Barrels, these give us, oh yeah, those are the ones that give us storage for like our juices and milk and stuff like that. So we'll get some barrels built. So right now we're just on a storage blitz. Reservoirs, I think, give us storage on water. So yeah, we'll get our reservoirs built. So now we've got storage and everything. We have all these things that give us upgrades. Barrel storage for 5,100. Barrel storage again for 51,000. So now we can store all kinds of milk and juice and things like that. Reservoirs, again, 2,000 and 20,000 for storage capacity and reservoirs. So each of these has their own individual upgrade. That one's 510,000. We already did level 1, so we're not going to worry about that one. 26,000 for crop silos and 260,000 for the second level. Yeah, sure, why not? Ore silos, 5,100, 51,000 for capacity there. Pantries, 26,000 for 5 pantries, and then the 260. That one I'll hold off on. I don't know if we need to worry about it, but we'll hold off on that one. So now what have I broken after having done all that? We're now getting experience at a clip of 13.4 thousand per second as a result of all those changes that we made. And I think it's just because it's once again trying to refill capacity. And so as a result, we have a bunch of things that are now being created that had stopped because we didn't have as much storage for them. But now we have all these extra things that we can fill the storage up on. And because of that, we're now, once again, crafting all those things. And that's causing our experience to climb once again. And it's moving around. That should continue to drop as some of these things get closer and closer to 100% filled. So let's see. What else do we have here that we can do? at this point. We're going to take a look at things like leather. So leather is being impacted, oh my gosh, by the animal feed. And the animal feed is just because we don't have enough food mills. So we do actually need some more food mills. What's this upgrade? 200K for food mill capacity, which will double or will give us extra capacity without actually having to build any mills. And now that's going to try and fix our animal feed issue. But it still is not just because we still need that much more animal feed. So we'll build some more food mills. It's always more than one way to take care of an issue. So we'll build some more food mills because I think we got plenty of grain harvesting speed. So I don't think we're ever going to run into an issue there. So animal feed's back to good. We are going to run ourselves out of refined stone bricks, it looks like. Yeah, because every one of these costs refined stone bricks, and those will now start to fill themselves back up again, and we'll be fine there. So let's see, fulfillment is now at 99%, and there's nothing else to be fulfilled here other than the gold ingots. And now our experience is starting to drop. It's down to, well, now it's picking back up again, so there must be other things that it's once again creating. So yeah, this constantly bounces around just based on the way that everything keeps on getting recalibrated with the system. So I still love that part. That's still really cool how that all works. So at this point, the only thing that we got going on is we have this research going on for our laboratories. And that's it. So with us having 13 minutes before we hit our next level, and with that research happening, there's not much else really at this point that is happening with anything else. Silver ore and gold ore we can't do much about because, again, that's all based on the research that needs to be done. Everything else here seems like it's running. Here, again, gold ingots, silver ingots. If we wanted to, we could start pumping a little bit more into the demand on each of these things. So that way that just gives us more that we sell per second. And that would have some small effects on things, nothing drastic. So at this point, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to speed time up because I can, because at this point all we'd be doing is we'd just be waiting for this research to complete, and I would have sped that up as it is already. So I am going to speed time up, and I'm going to stop once we get to level 15. So once we get there, we're going to put a pause on this. We're going to see exactly what we get from hitting level 15. All right, so there we go. We've now reached level 15. We complete this, and as a result of this, we get a whole bunch more purple diamonds again, 20 more quest coins, more land, and more yellow coins. And we come down here. We've completed a few quests. We'll do these ones that we've completed here first. So this quest was the one for the cloth. It was the cloth and the leather. So now we can make warm coats. This quest was 50,000 milk, which means that now we can make butter. And the one that we've been waiting for, we've now reached town level 15. And maybe you didn't know we were waiting for it, but here it is. A new biome has been unlocked. And we now have this biome called the river. So what exactly does that mean? So now if we look, we now have 8 quest coins. We now have a new menu option called the world, which is right up here. We can now have a quest to reach town level 35 in the plains. We have town expansion. We have a quest to produce 1,000 bread. And we have a quest to reach town level 20 in the plains. So now what is this world thing? So this is where we now see the other towns that we have available to us. So the next town that we have available is here in the river. So we are not going to do that right now. I was going to click on that and see. I thought there was something that told you what you needed to get to in order to get to the next biome, and that might not happen until we actually have one in the river. So, but if we look here in the river, we have tomato plants as a unique resource. So the river produces tomatoes, which are not produced here in the plains. We have sugar cane that's produced in the river, so there's that sugar cane that we were talking about before. There's also fish that gets produced only in the river, which makes sense because it's the river. There are fishing boats. There's a unique building called the harbor. And then these are the bonuses and drawbacks of being at the river. So one of the drawbacks is that the quarries run 25% less effectively. The mines are 50% less effective. Water springs are 200% more effective, which again makes sense because it's the river. The pastures are 100% more effective, and the general store demand is 25% higher than the baseline. This also makes it sound like there would be 1,025 pieces of land and 1,025 workers available. I don't know if that's actually the case, so we will have to see when we actually get into there. But that will be for our next episode, where we will, at this point, maybe we will leave Champaign 2 behind for a little bit, and we will probably end up focusing on our next area here, which is going to take us to the river, as the Talking Head song goes. And we're going to see exactly what we are going to do there and what the next step in the journey is. But like I said, that will be for our next episode that we will take a look at that. So that is going to be it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw here, I would appreciate it if you gave the video a like. If you really like the channel, I would appreciate it even more if you would give it a subscribe. And that's 3 in a row that I said the word subscribe right. So I'm on a roll here. That is going to be it. Thank you very much once again. I am Rusty Champagne, and we will see you later.